Hey, everybody. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. It's Dr. Eric Naputi. Hope you're having a great day wherever in the world you are today. We're jumping on live now to do an AMA, Ask Me Anything. We've had a amazing week this week, and I try to do the best I can with all of the questions that come in through social media, through emails, through text messages, through all the ways that you communicate with us. And I'm excited to be with you guys here. So give me a thumbs up. You guys can see me and hear me. Let me know where you're watching from. I always like to know where you're watching from. And if you have any questions, hit them in the chat on any of the social media platforms you're watching on, or if you're watching on our website, biolimitless.com/live. Welcome to our AMA, Ask Me Anything tonight. So a couple things I want to get into. I have a list of questions that my team has printed off and given me for the week. People who've asked all kinds of questions. So the first question comes from a longtime listener, first time questioner. This is Katie Weber. So Katie is amazing. Katie, I hope you're having a blessed day wherever in the world you are. Katie's question is this. She goes, "Hey doc, should I continue taking Cell Signal while I'm fighting a cold? Will it help?" So first of all, thanks for the question. Great question, by the way. And by the way, I think it's important, and I want to congratulate you for being proactive and really tuning in and listening to your body. Now, listen, when your body's run down, when you're feeling sick, when you're feeling toxic, Cell Signal is amazing for that. It is definitely time to take the Cell Signal. That'll help give your body the B vitamins, the detoxification through the methylation pathway. It'll give you the body the energy it needs to communicate and repair the damage to the tissues. So the Cell Signal formula, remember, it's not a drug. None of these things that we use are drugs. It's a cellular frequency and mitochondrial optimizer. So the Cell Signal formula, which I've got a bottle of it behind me, the Cell Signal formula is designed to optimize your ATP production. So your cells live off of the production of a chemical called adenosine triphosphate. And if ATP is low, that's the abbreviation for it. If ATP levels are low, then you don't have enough cellular energy to heal the tissue. So your T cells can't fight, which is your immune system. We have a lot of people that come in and see us in our practices and they're immune compromised. We do a blood test called a CD4 and a CD8 blood test that measures the T cells and basically it's your immune system. And if that's low, we use the Cell Signal formula, vitamin D3 and zinc, and sometimes some vitamin C as well to improve that T cell function to help your immune system. So here's what I would do. Keep taking it like normal. Keep taking your 3 in the morning and 3 midday, and especially during immune time stresses or any kind of stresses for that matter. The more you have that in your system, it does give you a better chance to help fight off infections in the future. So stay hydrated, slow down, eat clean. Like if I'm not feeling well, which happens to everybody, but if I'm a little run down, what I'm going to do is I'm going to eat raw fruits and vegetables, like all organic raw stuff for like maybe 2-3 days. It'll be completely fixed by then. Completely fixed by then. And avoid junk food, and then stack that when you're not feeling well. Stack that Cell Signal formula with the Master Microbiotics. Remember, some 90% of your immune system lives in your GI tract, in your small intestine, lymphatic areas, and so that's what you should do. You'll do that. That should help a ton. Great question. Here's another question from Jeremy. Jeremy says, "Hey doc, what are your thoughts on colostrum and collagen?" Well, first of all, colostrum. I think colostrum's a very powerful product. In fact, it's a very pure product. You got to get the right kind, and you got to make sure that it's organic and certified organic and non-GMO. But colostrum's good. It's a really great source of vitamins, minerals, nutrients. A good source of, depending upon the colostrum, good source of protein, good source of healthy fat. Again, based off of the colostrum, that colostrum could be a good immune system booster as well. So I'm a big fan of it. I have a lot of my patients who use raw goat's milk, and raw goat's milk seems to work just as good, if not better, than colostrum. So I'm a fan of it. I think it's good. I think just like all things, it has a reason and a season, but I don't think it's something that needs to be done all the time, every day. Collagen is an interesting conversation because where's collagen come from? Collagen comes from protein. Well, once we get over the age of 30, we lose our body's ability to produce certain enzymes, protease being one of them. And that's the enzyme that breaks down protein when we consume it. And if we don't have the enzymes to break that down, we can't break down the protein into amino acids. We can't break the protein down into collagen. And our body doesn't grab that collagen and use it like it's supposed to. I will tell you that collagen is a raw material. Like if I'm going to build a house, it's like the wood and the glue and the screws and all this stuff to build my home. Well, I got to have the workers to put that collagen to work. And the workers that we recommend are plant-based multi-enzymes that'll break down the protein and grab that collagen and put it to better use. Certain bacteria in the gut, certain types of lactobacillus and bifidobacterium, because they help make enzymes, help the body use collagen. But I'll tell you, there's a peptide called copper peptide. It's a collagen copper peptide that grabs collagen and puts it to use. So does BPC 157. BPC 157 is a peptide that's normally in the intestinal tract of healthy humans. When we have leaky gut, which is like some 80% of the population has, you lose that peptide. And so in the Master Microbiotics formula is the BPC 157. In my other two peptide formulas, the Cell Reset, there's a glare, the Cell Reset and the Neuro Reboot both have that. And you could also use BPC 157 by itself, but I don't tell none of my patients take collagen by itself. I think it's good, but I think it's way overhyped. Like a lot of things that are overhyped right now. People are on the supplement shuffle. Whatever the latest social media trend is, I mean, whatever, the people who are pushing through the algorithm are selling is what every influencer downstream does. It's sick. I mean, that's why you see methylene blue everywhere. That's why you see NAD everywhere. Methylene blue is not good for everyone. NAD is not good for everyone. Certain peptides are not good for everyone. I mean, there's a reason why it's not just about having access to the tools in the tool shed. It's how to freaking use them. And that's really the key. Let me give you an analogy of that. How many of you have ever heard of the story of Henry Ford's assembly line went down? And this is how Henry Ford makes his money. And you can't make cars when the assembly line goes down. And he calls somebody who's an expert in the assembly line, and he comes in and assesses the situation and puts one screw in. One screw he changes. And that one screw changes the entire assembly line. It makes it work again. And that's the secret sauce. And it wasn't the screw. It was knowing where to put that screw. And when that guy got the assembly line running again, Henry Ford said, come up top and I'll write you a check. And he said, well, how much is it for what do I owe you for this? He said, $10,000. He's like, $10,000 for one screw? He says, no, the screw is only a quarter, but it's the $9,900.75 that's to me for knowing that that's what needs to be done. It's knowledge and application that's powerful. So I hope that helps. Hope that helps answer your question. Let's see, Miss Norma. By the way, Dr. Eric Naputi here. If you're just joining us, I'm just doing an AMA. Ask me anything, whatever questions you guys have about anything health and wellness wise or anything. Put it in the chat below. You guys can put it in there, and I'll answer those questions. And let me know where you're watching from too. I see a lot of folks from all over the globe, but I want to know where you're watching from. So Norma says, hey, what's a good binder with ivermectin? Okay. So I use a formula called Detox Pro Plus. This is what I use, Norma. This is the binder when I prescribe ivermectin for my patients, and we do. We use this Detox Pro Plus binder. This has fulvic acid, humic acid, organic activated charcoal. It has a specific type of micronized zeolite in it, has a unique form of zeolite as well. Because when you kill off parasites, by the way, this is also anti-parasitic in nature. All of the compounds in here destroy parasites. We typically, just so you know, in my practices for a parasite cleanse, I typically use the Detox Pro Plus and the Master Microbiotics. And I put them on a specific type of a food plan for 90 days. Because it takes the body 90 days to really make a dent in parasites. By the way, we live with parasites every day. We should coexist with them. There's no way you're going to be able to get all of them out of your body. It's not possible to do that. But just like if you have too much bad bacteria in your body, that's an issue. You need a little bit, but too much is bad. And same thing with the parasites. A little bit's not a problem. A lot of it is an issue. So those are what I use, Norma, for binders in our world. And, more often than not, instead of prescribing ivermectin, a lot of times I'll hit them with this 1-2 punch, and that's all we need to do. Okay, a couple more questions. Let me answer some of these. This question is from Andrea Pogue. Andrea says, long COVID question. Hey, I've got long COVID or something like it. Will the Detox Plus help me? Well, first of all, 1,000% it can help you. There's no question, because when we get the toxins out of our body, the microplastics and heavy metals and glyphosates and all that kind of stuff, when those are out of the system, inflammation goes down. Inflammation goes down. Now, there was a report that was just released by the United States federal government, a big group of doctors. And I know these doctors real well, actually. And I support the paper that they wrote. And it said that the number one cause of chronic illness, long COVID is a chronic illness, long haulers is a chronic illness, is inflammation inside the cells. And the number one cause of inflammation inside the cells is environmental toxins. So when we remove those environmental toxins, we're going to improve the health of the cell. When we improve the health of the cell, we improve the health of the human body. So someone who has long COVID, we want to also stop that spike protein from replicating. And I will tell you that I use in my practice a few things for that. We use either nicotine, we use vitamin D, we use zinc as well. We use, and yes, we still carry zinc and D and all that kind of stuff. I'll show you in our line what we do. And we use the Detox Pro Plus, and we use the Master Microbiotics formula to start. If there's massive amount of fatigue, which almost every person who has fatigue has a condition known as mitochondrial dysfunction. And mitochondrial dysfunction, we need to stimulate the mitochondria. So I use a formula called cell signaling for that. So every person who has long haulers, I tell them, look, you got to give me at least 6 months to make a big dent in this. We put them on a ketogenic type of a diet. We do a genetic profile for them to find out how they're supposed to live their life. We put them on the cell signal formula to stimulate the ATP, because long hauler syndrome destroys the mitochondria production in the body. Your cells can't take usable nutrients and turn it into usable energy in the body. It doesn't do it proper. So that cell signal helps with that. We use the Detox Pro Plus, knocks out heavy metals, microplastics, kills parasites. Intercellular parasitic infections is a big problem that people have. Knocks down cellular inflammation, improves the pH, makes it more alkaline. Otto Weinberg won a Nobel Prize decades ago, I think in the 1940s or 50s, finding out that an alkaline pH is an unreasonable or unfit environment for chronic inflammation and disease to be in. So, Andrea, that's what you should do. The fulvic and humic acid in there is amazing. There's also 84 minerals in that formula of the Detox Pro Plus, and the body needs that. All right. So that's what people need to do. Next question here. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Okay, here's a great question. So Lori says, hey, where can I get vitamin D and zinc that you support? I'm still using the Wellness Warrior product. So listen, you guys, I created Wellness Warrior in 2016. When COVID hit, it is what it is, but some of my partners basically hijacked that from me. I was out trying to save the world, and they wanted to worry more about money. They took a settlement from the government. I kept going, and I fought, and I won, and I just can't do that anymore. So if you want vitamin D and zinc, go to my personal website. Go to ericnaputi.com. Somebody write that in the bottom, please. ericnaputi.com. If you guys go there, then that will help you a ton. You can find there's a ton of other your basic vitamins there. Vitamin D, vitamin zinc, minerals, etc. We don't need as many of those since I've developed the BioLimitless line, but they're still there if you need them. Great question here. This is one. Nicole says, what about parasites? Should we be doing cleanses? It seems complicated and scares me. I hear, they dig deep into your body, and if you don't do it right, it's a mess. From Arizona. First of all, welcome, Nicole. And here's what I'll tell you about parasites. There's a lot of misinformation out there about parasites. 80+% of the population has them. If you have kids in your home, you got parasites. If you have animals, you got parasites. If you live on a farm, you got parasites. If you're like me and you walk around barefoot outside, you got parasites. If you eat food, especially meat, you got parasites. So we coexist symbiotically with parasites, But if we get an overdevelopment of them, that's where the issue is. Now, here's what I'll tell you. I am no longer a fan of doing these 90-day or 120-day, take these 12 vials, wormwood, hemlock, clover. Those things do work. But man, it can really trash your body, and you could get a Herxheimer reaction and have a lot of issues with it. Okay. Now, listen to this. What I will tell you is that if you'll follow the simple protocol that we have a very simple protocol for parasite cleanse. If you go to biolimitless.com, there's a little parasite protocol cleanse to follow there. Every single patient of mine, I start them on 3 things. Okay. First of all, I put them on intermittent fasting. I say no gluten, no dairy, and minimize your junk food and minimize your sugar. No, just sugar by itself. Do that for 90 days. We're going to eat cilantro every day. We're going to have garlic every day. We're going to have just a couple other really good really good vegetables that help with that. And then we're going to clear the clutter out of the body. We're going to use the Detox Pro Plus. That has binders in it. So whenever the parasites die off, you got to have a binder so that you don't have a Herxheimer reaction. And there's a whole detox protocol that I've got put together for this. And there's webinars, for free that I put out there. There's all kinds of workbooks that we put together on this. There's a 45-day cleanse that we do. There's a lot you can do to help with parasites. I use the Detox Pro Plus. I use the Cell Signal, and I use the Master Microbiotics. That's typically what I start with. Now, in some cases, I'll add some of those other, dewormers. I might use ivermectin. I might use, because we prescribe that in our practices. I might use clover. I might use black walnut. We probably will use wormwood. It just depends on the severity of the person. If it's really bad, we'll have them come into one of our facilities and we'll do some vitamin IV therapies, hydrocolonics, make sure the bowels are moving. There's a lot that can be done. I believe that everybody should be taking something on a daily basis to lower their toxic threshold, which includes parasites. But that being said, I also believe that people should be cleansing for parasites every quarter. Like every 3 to 4 months, you should do a 45 to 90-day, cleanse and purge of your body of those. And if done right, it's really not difficult. It's not hard at all. It's pretty simple and easy. You don't have to start it on a full moon. You don't have to do 3 lunar cycles. And a lot of the stuff that comes out of people, yes, some of them are parasites. Parasites are really they're really not easy to diagnose. There's a lot of symptoms of parasites. I mean, almost every symptom you can think of mimics parasites. And when parasites eat, they also defecate. When they defecate, that's a toxin to your body. Autoimmune issues, long hauler COVID, any chronic inflammatory issue, always think parasites. When I look on a blood test, we look at eosinophils. If they're above a 3, we start really going, okay, is there a parasitic issue? If it's above a 6, 100% it's parasitic. We're going to do that with somebody. We're going to detox them. But Nicole, don't freak out about it. You're just scared of it because you've never done it and done it right. Maybe sometime what we'll do, and in fact, we'll do this. I'll pick a time that we can do a parasite cleanse together as a global community. And I'll show you what I do. We'll do it together. I'll do a daily vlog or blog or something so I can show you guys what to do and how to do it, because it's not difficult. And I will just tell you right now, it's June something, but here in a couple, in August, I'm due for a parasite cleanse. So we can do it together if that's cool. All right. What other questions we got here? We got a lot of them are the same ones. Michelle says, hey, Dr. Eric, I haven't seen you since 2020. Hey, I'm still alive. I don't know if you guys know this, but during 2020, we were reaching 10, 15 million people a week on social media. And we were talking a lot about the truth of COVID, what's happened, what's happening. We were helping people destroy the spirit of fear. And then bam, you couldn't find Dr. Naputi anymore because they certainly didn't want you to know that there was a lot of problems going on with the narrative there. Now we all know what the deal is. And that's it is what it is. So Michelle, you're gonna be seeing a lot of me because I'm back, baby. And I'm here to help change and save the world as best we can. Okay. Okay. So Tina says, hey, can you recommend anything for someone with compromised immune system like COVID? Of course. First of all, I always like to test, not guess. But if testing is not for you or you think it's not in your budget, I think you're crazy. There's a blood test you can do that you should do to check your immune system. Number 1 is vitamin D. If your vitamin D levels are below a 60, in my world, you're immune compromised. The second one is your CD4 and CD8. That's your immune system cells. Those are they're killer T cells. If those are low, our immune system's compromised. Those are the best tests really to look at. Now, if you do a urine sample and your pH, so the alkaline and acidity, if your pH is below a 7, it should be between a 7 and 8.5. So I always say it should be between 700 and 850. If it's below 700, the pH is below a 7, you're acidic. And the pH is a chemical measurement of the electrical signaling in the body. So the cell signal's gone down. So yeah, I mean, vitamin D, zinc, those are amazing for the immune system. The cell signal formula is created for people who have MTHFR. MTHFR, if you have MTHFR and it's an active MTHFR, some people have MTHFR gene imbalances and they don't have problems with gluten. They don't have problems with synthetic B vitamins. But I certainly do, and I have that, and that compromises my immune system, and it can make you sick with that. So knowing those things, doing the blood, doing the urine, genetic test would be really amazing because then you know once and for all what your genetic predispositions are for immune function. And then immune supporting supplements, zinc, we're talking 20 to 25 to 50 milligrams a day for adults, vitamin D3, 10,000 to 15,000 international units a day. By the way, it's funny when people say that's a lot of vitamin D compared to what? Compared to the fact that when you're outside in the sun for 40 minutes, you make 20,000 IUs of it. Like, come on, let's call this what it is. You know what the hell you're talking about. Let's just be honest. Okay. And the other big things for the immune system, vitamin C. I mean, Linus Pauling won a Nobel Prize. I think he won 2 of them. He did. He won 2 Nobel Prizes for his work he did on vitamin C. Look up the Linus Pauling dose for bowel tolerance for vitamin C. That's a great way to do it. I also do vitamin C IVs, me personally, and I do them in my practices for our patients. Look, almost 90% of your immune system lives in your gut. Your gut-associated lymphatic tissue is where your immune system starts. So making sure that your gut bacteria is balanced using a master microbiotic formula, this is immune system boosting. And then getting the toxins out of your body. Like your immune system, Tina, is compromised when you have toxins in your cells. So if you have microplastics, heavy metals, glyphosates, pesticides, we all have that stuff in our system. We need to detoxify that. And I use the Detox Pro Plus. I use my sauna to sweat. I do rebounding. I do standing vibration therapy. I go outside, walk barefoot all the time to ground myself. Those are things that can help. So I hope that helps, Tina. I hope that helps you with that. Here's another one. This is Love, Peace, Joy. I love that, by the way. So, first of all, thank you. What are your thoughts on getting rid of cancer lumps in the breast holistically? Well, so listen to this. Please understand this. It is illegal. This is crazy. It is illegal in the United States of America to treat cancer with anything other than chemo, radiation, or surgery. If a doctor does that, not only can they lose their license, but they'll go to jail. Think about that for a minute. That's crazy. That's a system that's pretty jacked up. Now, that being said, there's a lot of things that can be done to help with breast issues, and we've had lots of patients in the past that we've helped with. Listen, I'm just going to tell you it's all about getting healthy. It's all about getting healthy. Please focus on raising your pH. Please focus on improving your minerals in your body. Listen, when I was going through my naturopathic training, we learned that low minerals are the cause of most diseases. That's a big one. And then with breast tissue, because it's a hormonal based, a lot of times hormonal type of a deal, we got to get the estrogen and progesterone balanced. Using some wild yam extract cream, amazing for that. Amazing. There's a product, Genesis wild yam. Take a little finger scoop of it every day, put it on the side of each breast. That'll help balance out your hormones naturally. Lowering the microplastics in your body. Microplastics, when they get elevated, they cause your body to have high estrogen. That's a big issue. So pulling those plastics out, big deal. And then getting on a ketogenic carnivore diet, like that's a big thing. Getting on a ketogenic carnivore diet with intermittent fasting. Prayer and fasting are powerful, but fasting is huge. And then you know what? Look at that Linus Pauling protocol, and get with some functional medicine practitioners that can help find out what's wrong with you, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to treat your disease. You want to treat your cellular dysfunction that's causing that problem in the first place. Does that make sense? We want to treat the cellular imbalance causing the dysfunction. So private message me if you have any further questions about that. I can talk to you uh, differently than I can online. Miguel, what's up, brother? Hope you're doing well. Hey, Miguel says, what's the best way to give children the master microbiotics? Oh, perfect. Great question. You can't swallow capsules. Here's what's beautiful. Take the master microbiotics. Open this up. Here, let me grab a, I got a little cup of water right here. Okay. So let me just show you something really cool with this. So we have this really cool beadlet technology. I'm going to make a mess with this, but you literally can take this. Watch this, Miguel. This is not going to look too great, but you can take this, you can put in some water just like that. There's your master microbiotics. Stir it up and drink it down, or put it in applesauce, put it in yogurt, put it in, you can do the same thing with the Cell Signal. Those don't have too much of any of a taste to it, so they don't have any problem getting those down. And not only do I have a lot of kids that have, by the way, cheers, that have a lot of issues with swallowing pills, I have a lot of patients that do. People that have chronic reflux, they get, swollen, narrowed esophagus, or people that have thyroid issues, their pills get stuck. Cheers, by the way. So you can do it that way. It's so cool. So it's such a good way to do that. Great question. All right, here's another one. Casey, how to alleviate joint pain in the big toe, osteoarthritis? Well, a couple things. Number one, make sure it's not gout. So go get it really checked out. Make sure it's not gout. If it's osteoarthritis, that means it's from, you've overdone it. You've overused it. You've injured it. Something happened. That joint mechanic is off. And now let me tell you something. If your toe is bending off like a bunion, okay? If it's bending off like a bunion, and when you walk, you're not doing that heel toe strike, you're walking off to the side of your foot, you might have like ankle issues or even knee mechanical problems that need to be assessed, and correcting those can fix the gait, which will fix your toe. Now, I will tell you topically, DMSO for joint pain is amazing. There's also some really good topical CBD creams that are out there, but DMSO is amazing for topical pain. DMSO is so good for so many things. There's just some major research that just came out that shows the benefits of DMSO for people who have cancers even. So you go look at that on your own. So that's what I would do for the toe, but make sure it's not gout. And, if you have elevated uric acid levels, that could be what it is. And if that's the case, then, go try this. Go get some tart cherry juice. Start drinking some of that. Go get a plant-based multi-enzyme and start taking like 3 or 4 of those on an empty stomach 2 or 3 times a day, just short term, like for like 2 or 3 days. See if that gets your pain to go down. If it does, there's probably uric acid crystals in your toe causing this. If it's big and red and swollen too, it's probably gout. So go check that out as well. Miguel, another question. He says, okay, so it's cool to use ivermectin on detox? Yeah, totally, man. Totally got that. Love Peace Joy says, is the test available to purchase in the US? Why is shipping so high? 14 Arizona. I don't know why. So I don't handle logistics. There's a reason for stuff. Now the detox, all the supplements are ready for purchase. The DNA kits, we just redid those. Those are ready to rock and roll. So you should be able to purchase those as well. You can also I've got some blood tests I'm going to be releasing before too long to everybody to do from home. Detox blood test, vitamin blood test, hormone blood test, omega-3, omega-6 ratio blood test, a lot of stuff that you can do. And I'll also tell you that I don't know why shipping is high. Listen, like everything is expensive now. It's crazy. Like it really is. And I try to be as sensitive to that as we can, but it's a crazy world we live in. So great question. Laura. Hey, Laura. Laura says, glad to see you back. Good to see you too, Miss Laura. Hope you're doing well. Bella says, oh my God, I was shadow banned because I talked about you in 2020. I know you tell the truth, and they take measures like that. Bella, you're right. God bless you. But the good guys are now, I think, in control of a lot of things. And I just think the best is yet to come. But we shall see with that. Let's see. Okay. So let's talk about this. Great question. Karen says, hey, Doc, what about hormone replacement for women over the age of 65? So I'm a big fan of hormone balancing, but I'm a big fan of finding the cause of the hormones being out of balance first. We do a lot of hormone therapy in our practices. We do telehealth as well. So we help people all over the country with that. But I'll tell you, utilizing peptides and nutraceuticals a lot of times can help us so we don't need to use as many hormones. By the way, hormones are very safe, especially if they're bioidentical. They reduce heart disease, they reduce cancer, which is the complete opposite of what you were told by the big pharmaceutical industries years ago. But check this out. Now, look. Number one, did you know that a lot of the menopausal symptoms that women have, especially hot flashes and hormone kind of swings of emotions, do you know that there could be a heavy metal toxin that causes that? Did you know that when women start going through the female changes, which happens to men and women, men get andropause, women get menopause, that cadmium and lead that are in the bones of humans starts to leach out in women because of the estrogen changes. So doing a heavy metal detox, heavy metal cleanse, very, very. So first thing I do with all my patients, Karen, I said, we're going to clean out your body first. We're going to reset your body. I put them on a 45-day metabolic reset. I put them on a nutritional product called Cell Signaling. And then I used the Detox Pro Plus formula. That's this guy right here, because it pulls out heavy metals and microplastics and all the things. Then I make sure they have enough vitamin D3, because D3 mixes with cholesterol to make your hormones. And then I look at them and I go, hey, are you on a statin drug? Because if you're on a statin drug, it's almost impossible for me to truly balance your hormones. Because if I'm shutting off cholesterol, which is like the majority of what hormones are made from, it's not going to work like it's supposed to. And most people don't have enough vitamin D or enough protein. So Karen, get on a ketogenic diet. So keto carnivore, intermittent fasting, 2 meals a day, skip breakfast, have lunch, have dinner, hydrate proper, detoxify your body, reset your cell metabolism. There's a program I have called 45 Reset. Go to the website. It's 45easy.com. You go check it out. And it talks you how to do that. That's where I start with people. I make sure I have the right amount of cholesterol, above a 160. I make sure that they have the right amount of vitamin D, above a 60 on their blood test. And if they have all that and they still have hormone issues, that's when we start using hormone therapy. But a lot of times I use a group of peptides that are in our cell reset formula, and Sloop and Sloop, which Sloop's not really a peptide. It's a peptide-like substance. Okay. We refer to it as a peptide because people understand that. It's not really a peptide bond. It's still chemically made, and it helps the body deal with estrogen balance naturally. That's a big deal for women. And then another secret is wild yam extract. I'm a big fan of wild yam extract for men and women. Guys, take a scoop of that, put it on your scrotum every day. Helps with hormone balance. Ladies, take it, put it on the inner part of your thigh or on the outside part of your like breast armpit tissue. Amazing formula for that. Okay, let me answer another question here. This one is, let's see here. This is Tom. This is Tom Mezzo. Tom says, she says, how do I avoid all the poisons in the food and drinks? It feels impossible. Well, Tom, you're not wrong. It is scary. I'll tell you that right now. But fear doesn't fix anything. So let's talk about it, how we can take control. Yes, the system's rigged. We should not have been able to put those. We shouldn't be able. Fluoride should not be in our water supply. PFAS shouldn't be in our food. Plastic is not there. I mean, there's 100 lawsuits right now with baby formula manufacturers, because they've allowed lead, cadmium, and mercury in some of the baby formulas. Like, that shouldn't be okay. And the response of these companies is, well, the government said it was all right. Like, what? This is crazy. So here's how you fight back. Number one, eat real food. Okay. Just eat real food. Look at the ingredients of the food. It needs to be food. It should say broccoli. It should say chicken. It should say, salmon, beef. Like, it shouldn't say all that other stuff. If you can't pronounce it, don't eat it. Like, if you can't pronounce it, don't eat it. And if the word is like this long or this long, and there's hyphens and X's and Y's and Greek letters in it, don't eat it. It's not food. It's not food. Ditch the seed oils. Ditch the seed oils. Okay. I know that seems controversial. It shouldn't be, but ditch the seed oils. Get rid of the fake sugars. If you see anything that says low fat, no fat, just think chemical crap storm and don't eat it. And then use good, healthy sea salt, clean sea salts. Use BioLima's products, detox your body. Like, we can't avoid. I walk around my house and I'm like, man, there's plastic everywhere. Man, there's chemicals everywhere. I live in an area in Missouri where they dumped uranium from the Manhattan Project. People don't realize that a lot of that was done here in St. Louis. Mellencrot made some of the first atomic bombs, dumped the waste about 40 miles west of downtown St. Louis, which is where I live, and there's uranium everywhere. So we use the Detox Pro Plus all the time because there's just no way to get rid of all those toxins in your body. So that's a great question. And you're not, Tom, I just want you to understand you're not hopeless. You're powerful, man, when you get to choose, what's best for you. So all right, couple question. Chris. Hey, Chris. Chris says, after the last question, this sounds so dumb. Detox Pro Plus is not enough to take care of parasites. Guarantee that it is. You want to know how I know it is? Because I've been doing it for 20 years. And let me tell you something, Chris. No offense to you, my friend. I'm sure that you are an expert in functional medicine. I'm sure that you are a guru at parasite cleanses and detox. I'm sure you understand everything that there is about it. But I'm sure you probably also know that there's certain forms of fulvic and humic acid and Shilajit and a couple bioactive minerals that once a parasite ingested, it kills the outside layer of that parasite. I'm sure you know the research and data behind activated charcoal. I'm sure you know that. But here's the reality. There are certain liver flukes. There are different types of parasites. Like ivermectin doesn't kill all parasites. And we don't want them to kill all parasites. So let me just tell you something, man. I would love to hear your reasoning why. But I see eosinophils go down with patients all the time after doing 90 days of this. I also see parasites that we see on dark field microscopes not appear anymore. We see biofilms that are normally there, not there anymore. We see stool samples that show parasitic activity on a gut microbiome test that are no longer there. So look, explain to me why, Chris, that doesn't do it. And when we combine it with the Master Microbiotics that has the 9 fungi and bacteria that are normally in the blue zones of the world, especially, and I'm sure you know this as well, the 2 forms of lactobacillus that kill parasites. I'm sure that you know that well. So Chris, let me know what other questions you got. And I mean that with love and respect. So great to see you as well. Jan, hey, Jan. Jan, hey, Doc, long time no see. Great to see you, Jan. Hope you're doing well. Dealing with neuropathy in the feet these days, not diabetic. I'm on magnesium, vitamin D, fish oil, B vitamins. Have a jiggle boat and I got you, and a rebounder. Okay. My balance sucks. Anything else I should add? Okay. So neuropathy is, if you're not diabetic, you might be insulin resistant, and pay attention to how you feel after you eat sugary foods. Because a lot of times, a lot of my diabetics or neuropathy patients will, they'll know, like if they eat a sugary meal or something, they'll feel it in their legs, their feet, their toes. My experience, Jan, and I work with a lot of neuropathy patients, is it's one of 3 things. It's either blood sugar issues or insulin resistance. And if that's the case, man, let's go really solid on a ketogenic carnivore diet for like 45 days. Let's intermittent fast. So like instead of 3 meals a day, 2. Let's also make sure that we've got, like, if the sugars are bad, let's get some berberine in our diet. Start taking berberine. Start doing about a half ounce to a full ounce shot of organic apple cider vinegar after every meal. That helps amazingly with your insulin resistance. There's a formula that I use. Every single neuropathy patient, I put on a product called Cell Signal. Cell Signal has BHB in it. BHB mimics fasting. It mimics fasting in the body. It's an exogenous ketone. And I'm sure you guys know ketones are really what fuels our body better than anything. So if it's blood sugar related, that's probably the cause. Number 2, it could be spinal misalignment. You could have a misaligned vertebra in your neck or your back or something like that, especially if your balance sucks, to use your words, Jan. It could be upper cervical subluxation. That neck being out of alignment throws the equilibrium off, and that throws the cerebellum off, and that's a vestibular problem. So go to the chiropractor, get adjusted, see if that's, get an x-ray. If your discs are compressed and it's pinching on a nerve, that can cause neuropathy. And what about, you ever had chemo or radiation? Because if you've had any of that, that could cause it. Now, I will tell you this. There's an ever-increasing body of evidence that shows if the body is very toxic, with heavy metals or with microplastics, that can cause irritation on the nerve around the nerve root, which can lead to neuropathy. So we got to test, not guess. It's either structural problem, a chemical problem, something like that. I will tell you that start with that. And if that doesn't seem to help, let me know. And if you're having any digestive issues, make sure that you're using a spore-based microbiotic, like a bacteria for the gut, and a plant-based multi-enzyme. So I would put on like the digest formula that we use and then the master microbiotics, but we got to figure out what's going on. So Jan, come see me or we'll get you hooked up with somebody that can help you find that. So great freaking question. Let's see. This is Chelsea. Chelsea says, where would you suggest starting for someone who went through functional doctors, detoxification without success, in addition is too ill, exhausted to handle the detox process? Okay. Well, it's kind of a loaded question. It's a great question, and I understand where you're coming from, but things don't just happen because we use a system in our office, and I teach it to people globally. It's called the THIS system. This, I call it. And it's a system that we help take people down a diagnostic criteria, whether we do it virtually or you do a quiz or we do it in our practices. But we got to find out what's causing this. And so my first question is, do they have MTHFR or methylation issues? I would first of all check that. And if a DNA test is the best way to do it. This is the one that I use. It's our DNA Discovery Wellness Test. But you can get a blood test as well, just to see if you have MTHFR. And if you do, then no gluten and no synthetic B vitamins. And then put that person first and foremost on some methylated B12 and some L-MTHF. It's the best form of methylated B9. Get folic acid out of their diet like crazy. No bread, no pasta, no cereals, no juice, that kind of stuff, no synthetic stuff. And then I'd work on detoxing their body slowly. Now, if you say they can't handle the detoxification process, it could be because they have mechanical process issues. So you have a chemical detox system and a mechanical detox system. That's what it is. So we need to find out what's going on. So Chelsea, why don't you private message me or email me or get a hold of me somehow? And we need to find out. We need to find out exactly what's going on here, because sometimes we just need to start slower with some people. And I don't know what by the way, God may have created all men and women equal, but definitely not all doctors and definitely not all functional medicine is such a catch-all term for doctors. So it's a great question, but start slow. Check that MTHFR first, because if that's the case, I'd start there. Maybe you can message me in the chat if you already did that. Question. Robin says, does omegas help with ADHD? Well, ADD ADHD is by the way, it's a superpower if you know how to use it properly. If you don't, it's going to use you improperly. So many of the great movers and shakers of the world are ADD ADHD to the 90th power. Here's what we do know. Omegas can help because omegas reduce inflammation. I'm a huge fan of good, pure omegas. In fact, there's a company, a product that I use that's literally one of the best omegas out there. And it's something that hopefully soon I'll be able to tell you a lot about. But omegas reduce inflammation. Omegas help the organs in the body work better. If we can reduce inflammation in the gut, which omegas do, we can reduce inflammation in the brain. And neuroinflammation is what contributes to, in some cases, to ADD, ADHD diagnosis. But methylation is a big part of that. If you have ADD, ADHD, our experience is that most of those people have a genetic imbalance with their methylation genes, and their body cannot handle most of the food that we eat as a standard American diet. Breads, pastas, grains, any type of folic acid is kryptonite to these folks, and sugar triggers them a lot. And there's usually a gastric issue with it. You got to understand, if you have leaky gut, which 95% of the population does, you're going to have a leaky brain. And a leaky brain is going to cause inflammation in there. So my experience is there's a lot of contributing factors to ADD, ADHD symptoms. What I find the most, just so you're aware, toxins in the body, so microplastics and heavy metals, that stimulates the brain in a neuroimmune inflammatory standpoint, especially mercury and aluminum. Man, those are horrible for the body. And then we also find a lot of GI problems, gastrointestinal issues, leaky gut, those kinds of things. And believe it or not, we find a lot of insulin resistance going on, even on very skinny and thin people and adults, right? Not that, and kids, not that they're not, immune to this. So there's a lot of things that contribute. I'm a big fan of good, clean omegas. American, listen to this. You know, there's a ratio of omega 3s to omega 6s. Omega 3s are the good ones, omega 6s are the pro-inflammatory ones. And we should have like it should be a 3-to-1 ratio. We should have, 3 omega 6s to 1 omega 3. It should be close. In America, it's like a 28-to-1. I mean, it's someone's 30-to-1. I mean, it's crazy. No wonder we have so much inflammation, so much disease, but there are things that can help with that. Okay. This, let me call here. Oh, my computer froze. All right, let's try this. Carrie says, another one. When taking the Pro Plus and probiotics, are there anything that we'll notice while taking it? Okay, everybody's different. So, I always say, how do you feel when you eat fruits and vegetables? How do you feel when you breathe? How do you feel when you exercise? How do you feel when you eat food? I mean, these are things that sometimes we just do in our daily routine and we don't notice like, oh, I did that. I feel amazing. Like, I mean, maybe we do, but usually we don't. The Detox Pro Plus and the Master Microbiotics together, most people, especially those that have really bad bacteria in their bodies, at first they're going to have diarrhea or constipation. I mean, it's not uncommon to have that because it's got to come out. The body's changing. Just let the body change. Do the right stuff to support your body. But there's a lot of times when people can notice that. But man, energy improves. Skin clears up. Focus gets better. Weight can come off the body. Did you know that if the bacteria is not balanced in your gut, you can't burn fat as fuel? There's multiple studies that have been done on fecal transplants where they take, the bacteria out of a overweight diabetic rat and put it into a skinny, healthy rat. That skinny, healthy rat becomes diabetic and overweight. And then when they take that diabetic and overweight rat fecal matter or the skinny rat healthy and put it into the overweight, a lot of times the overweight one will lose weight. So I can't even express to you the importance of that gut bacteria. But everybody's body's different. I had a woman say to me the other day when she started taking the detox formula, her skin started to break out a little bit. And that's because we detox through our skin, our bowels, our breath. I mean, a lot of those things. And if those pathways are closed, which is why Chelsea was talking about a person who can't detox well, some of those pathways might be closed and they need to be open. You can open up your skin pathways by sweating, taking an Epsom salt bath, getting in an infrared sauna. You can open up your bowels by using, some natural bowel moving teas and some herbs and some other enzymes. Doing standing vibration helps the lymphatic drain. Doing rebounding on a little rebounder helps the body drain. Doing brushing of your skin opens it up. Deep breathing, that kind of stuff. Box breathing exercises. It's really good to do all that stuff. So everybody's different though, Sometimes we don't feel getting healthier. It's interesting. Let's see. Okay, look at this. Okay, it's a sick Kristen. Hey, Kristen, how are you? She goes, "Yep, I grew up eating radioactive mud pies. We live in kind of the same region of the world, so I God bless you." And those radioactive mud pies, it is freaking crazy. But the cool thing is that there are things that we can do to lower our radiation in our bodies and exposure to that. So good. Great question. Okay. Lori and Vince. Hey, is the Detox Pro Plus like the Warrior Water you had? Kind of. It's kind of like the kindergarten version of it. And this is the PhD version. So listen, I need you to understand something, especially with me. Science should always be evolving and getting better. And like, instead of taking 15 pills a day, what if we could figure out a way to do it in like 3? And what if we could do a better delivery system? I mean, it should always be getting better. And that's why the Detox Pro Plus was created. I created that during COVID and wanted to launch that during COVID because of what it does with graphene oxide and the spike protein. But we didn't because of political reasons. And I was also being sued at the time by the corrupt U.S. government for $508 billion. So I was a little distracted. And I spent all my time, energy, money, and resources defending myself against our corrupt government. But it's nothing like it other than it has some of the, I don't even know what's in the Warrior Water formula anymore. I don't even know. because my partners who kind of took that company and ran with it without my input. I don't know the manufacturer they're using. I don't know what's going in it. I don't recommend it. I don't trust it. If it's an old formula, then it's great. But the Detox Pro Plus, which we already have 2 clinicals and one clinical done, one that we're doing right now, and then a really neat one that we're going to be doing in the fall. It's amazing. So that's what I use. I don't recommend that Warrior Water anymore. Okay. Let's see. Another question. You guys are doing great. By the way, type in your questions. Okay. Type in your questions. Hey, Chris, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bite your head off. Okay. I love you. I love you. I love you. Doc, it was a question. I didn't know if it was enough. I love you. I'm not close to a genius. I'm sorry. By the way, I'm a very passionate person. I don't ever try to come off to be an a-hole. Sometimes it just happens naturally. If you guys know my genes, it just is what it is. If you know my father's side of the family, but Chris, love you too. All is good, man. All is good. Okay. Ann. Hey, Ann up in Minnesota. Hey, good evening, Doc. Is it okay to drink distilled water? Okay, let's talk about that. I mean, since it's basically has no minerals, should a person drink it every day? Okay, you can use distilled water to detoxify your body because it pulls everything out, including your minerals, though. So don't drink this. I'm not a big fan of drinking distilled water every day. If you take distilled water, put a big pinch or a punch of organic sea salt, and you put a couple drops of that Detox Pro Plus, and you put a squeeze of lemon or lime in it. Now that's living water, and you can do that for sure. But I will tell you that I use and I prescribe distilled water for my patients if I'm trying to do some cleanses or some other things in their body, or like if they have too much zinc or too much copper. Copper toxicity is real, and it's because all these damn TikTokers are like, if your beard's gray, you're low in copper. If you can't see at night, you're low in copper. No, not necessarily. And copper can get very toxic very fast, and it can lead to lots of other issues. So I use distilled water for those things. I don't recommend drinking it all the time, but a little bit of it every once in a while is definitely not going to hurt you. And so great question. Okay. Let's see. Okay. I'm not going to answer. By the way, if you guys have questions you don't want me to pull your name up, just say, hey, keep this one private. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Great question. So Sandy, she goes, I love taking berberine, but how do I combat the constipation it causes? Sandy, I'm telling you right now, if berberine is causing constipation for you, your gut microbiome is out of balance. Okay. So you got to use a good spore-based microbiotic like the Master Microbiotic, and your liver is probably a little bit upset. So you probably also have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, because that's a sign of liver stress, maybe a little insulin resistance. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm just educatingly guessing here. But here's how you help with that. Let's clean up the liver. You can start drinking some dandelion root tea once a day, every other day. If your bowels don't move, go get a tea called Smooth Move Tea. Once a day is all you'll need with the Smooth Move Tea. That stuff is no joke. And make sure you're staying hydrated enough, because I do find in some cases that patients that take berberine, which by the way is one of many natural GLP-1 agonists. There's so many GLP agonists out there. You don't need an Ozempic shot that's literally jacking people up. There's a lot of other things you can do. But berberine is it's amazing. It's usually great for all people. But if that constipation is there, check your hydration, check your fiber, check your gut bacteria and your liver function. And I'm a big fan of dandelion root tea for the liver. I'm a big fan of detoxifying the liver. That Detox Pro Plus, I'm having trouble saying words today apparently, but the Detox Pro Plus helps with phase 1 and phase 2 liver detoxification. So great question, Sandy. Let me do a couple more. You guys, Dr. Eric Naputi here doing an AMA. So you guys have any questions? I'm answering some of them, but there's some really great ones in here. So let's do. Michelle says, Doc, what's the deal? What can I do for my hair falling out? I was really sick about 3 months ago, and I think it was from that. Well, I lost mine from stress years ago, but I know how to fix it. My hair loss is because I have a lot of testosterone, and I didn't know how to balance out DHT at the time. But I love my big, beautiful, bald head. So hopefully you guys like it too. If you don't, That's fine. I like it. So does my wife. So we're going to stick with it. But for you, Michelle, here's the deal is a lot of times what happens when we get sick, we lose our minerals. Minerals and protein are really a big part of the catalyst for hair to come back. And a lot of times when our body gets sick, we don't have enough. The body says, okay, I only have so many raw materials. What do you want me to do? Keep you alive or make your hair look beautiful? You want me to keep you alive or your hair, your nails to be long and pretty? You can't have it all unless you have all the raw materials. So here's what I'm going to tell you to do. Go do this. Start doing this now and start doing this for the next 90 days. 90 days. And in 90 days, you report back and say, hey, better, worse, whatever. Number one, whatever your ideal body weight is, if it's 120, if it's 150, if it's 170, well, however many pounds that is, I want you to start getting that many grams a day of protein in your diet. If you can't get it through food, then start getting some protein shakes. No soy protein and no whey protein unless it's isolate whey for you. Number two, start every day with a big pinch of organic sea salt. Organic sea salt, about a third to a half of a teaspoon. That'll give you the minerals that you need to help your thyroid. Thyroid a lot of times is part of the reason why the hair gets, the follicles don't grow back. Then go get some selenium or Brazil nuts. Selenium's cheaper. Selenium, and start taking 300 micrograms a day of selenium. Okay. Do those things. Get something to detox your body. I would prefer that you use the Detox Pro Plus. This has 84 of the 90 essential nutrients. These are all minerals that your brain, your body, your hair, and everything needs. Do that. Do that. And then I'm going to show you a trick. I'm going to show you something you're going to go, there's no way this works, but go look it up. Your fingernails. This is a homeopathic treatment. I learned this when I was going through training. I learned this from an 80-year-old homeopath like 25 years ago. A couple times a day, take your fingernails and rub them together like that. I know it's goofy, but it stimulates the thyroid, which can stimulate hair production. Just, why not try it? Just do those things. If you do the fingernail thing, that's fine. That's your decision. But the protein, the thyroid support, the Detox Pro Plus, those are things I would start with like right out of the gate. But get that protein level up. Okay. Let's try that. And if you don't see a big difference in that in 90 days, we need to have a conversation about what else could be going on. You guys, I'm going to do a couple more. Dr. Eric here. If you have any questions, type them in the chat below. And all of a sudden, interesting. Monica says, hey, drank Warrior Water for months. It was perfectly fine. And all of a sudden, it made me have the worst vertigo in my life. I stopped taking it, and the vertigo stopped. Tried again a couple months later, started taking it, again, vertigo. Okay, let me tell you something. The old formula was the original formula. I knew the manufacturer, and I knew the procedures of it. I created that formula. I don't know what's in it now. I don't have any input in that company. Now, you ask those guys, if you email them, is Dr. Naputi still with you? They're going to say, yeah, he's a manager. Look at it. He's on the website. Well, that just means I'm an owner on paper. I got fired by my interesting former partners. Let's just say that. I started the company. First of all, let me just say this politely. I'm not going to go too hard on this, but look, I've got a couple doctorates, a master's in clinical nutrition and 3 bachelor's degrees and 2 fellowships, one in functional medicine and one in functional neurology. And the guy who's running the company now, I'm not quite sure if he has a high school diploma. I'm just saying, I don't know what's in it either. But if that happened to you, don't take it, because that's not okay. That's all I'm going to say about that. All right. So Chris, sorry. Constant headaches. What's a safe option? So Chris Calhoun says, hey, I have constant headaches. What's a safe option? Chris, do this. Let's see if your headache's coming from your liver. The next time you have a headache, or if you have one right now, Chris, I hope you're still listening. Try this. Okay. On the right side. So I'm going to show you something. Let me try this. So it's not a good camera angle, but find your rib cage. Okay. So here's your sternum. Go to the right side of your rib cage, right here. That's where your liver is. And I want you to push in. I want you to push in hard. And if it hurts when you push in, I want you to hold that for about 30 seconds. Push in hard on that liver. And if after 30 seconds that pain goes away, that's a toxic headache, brother. A lot of headaches that people get are because they're toxic. So you need to do a detox. You need to get your gut bacteria balanced, and you need to detoxify your liver. So how do you do that? So number one is you get on a keto carnivore diet, you intermittent fast, you're making sure you're getting around 100 ounces of water a day in your diet. You're getting plenty of organic, clean sea salt, not pink Himalayan salt. And if you're gonna get Celtic gray, be careful because there's a lot of heavy metals in that. Baja Gold, and there's some Icelandic salts, and there's some salts from Spain that are good. There's a lot of good salts that are there. I've done lots of posts on that. So go back on our Facebook or our website and look at that. Use the Detox Pro Plus. Use the Master Microbiotics. But if you have headaches and you have neck pain, your neck might be out of alignment. That could be it. But I'm telling you, the majority of people that I see that have chronic headaches, not migraines, that's different, but headaches, it's because the liver is toxic. So if you push in and after like 30 seconds, man, that headache went down. It's a liver headache. You'd be blown away how many times that's the case. Da-dun, 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 da-dun. Oh boy, let's see what else we got here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, I'm gonna do two more. Chris, you get a twofer. Okay, so best for candida fungus issues that won't go away. Same deal. Chris, headaches and fungus. I'm telling you, your liver, your gut, and you're toxic. Let's do a 45-day detox where you reset your metabolism. Let's do go get that Detox Pro Plus and start doing 2 dropperfuls in the morning, 2 dropperfuls midday, 2 dropperfuls in the evening. Get that Master Microbiotics formula. Start taking at least 2 of those at bedtime, at least 100 ounces of fluid every day. Do the things we talked about, and I will be blown away if that's not changed with you. Because if you're dealing with fungus and candida and that kind of issues, by the way, if you have it on your nails, there's a lot of things you can put on your nails as well. There's an Emu Aid oil that's really good. There's a lot of other topicals, but Chris, I'm telling you that there's no coincidence that you've got candida, fungus, and headaches all the time. You're toxic. You're toxic, man. Just toxic. Okay. Choo. Mike, what's up, brother? How are you doing, man? Hope you're doing good. Hey, Doc, another great session. Always good to see you, Michael, by the way. Great guy over in Costa Rica. So glad you clarify the Warrior Water issue. Detox Pro Plus is awesome. Appreciate you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Let's see here. Darren, amen, brother. Very few of us can rock that bald head. I think I'm doing well, and I'm sure you are as well. I'm sure you're doing well. Let me do one more, you guys. This is so good. You guys enjoy these. I like doing this. This is what I love more than anything, is just sharing what I've learned and what I've experienced and my passion for helping people. Let's see. Ed says, you passed me up. Ed says, you passed me up and went to questions after mine. Guess that question was over your head. Ed, put your question in there again. I mean, I didn't see it. I got a couple hundred of them here. Let me go back and see if I can find it. This is going to be fun. Let's find Ed's question. Sorry. If you guys have any more questions, put them in. There we go. Ed says, okay, I'll do this one. Let's do it. Ed, that's why I said, if you have any personal questions that you don't want answered, let's roll. So here it is. Ed says, you touched on menopause with the topic. What are your thoughts about what can help with ED after a prostatectomy? Okay. That can be a tough one sometimes because, I'm sure that they told you when they went in and removed that prostate because of whether it's cancer or benign prostate hypertrophy, you go in there, there's a lot of fine plumbing in that area and nerves in that area. I'm going to tell you something. Have you ever heard of PEMF therapy? There's something called pulsed electromagnetic field therapy. It's a PEMF machine. And we have a lot of people get those PEMF machines or use them in our practice and literally sit on this. It's like a mat or a little circle that you can sit on. And when you push the PEMF, it sends a galvanic current, a voltage through your body. Our body's electrical. And when it stimulates that, it stimulates cells to move. And when those cells stop vibrating, our stuff doesn't work. Anything doesn't work. So if you get that going, that PEMF is amazing for that. Now, here's what else I'll tell you. This is a big one. A lot of times we also have issues with blood supply down in that region after those types of surgeries. So there's a formula that I use called Cell Signal. What does it do? It improves circulation, improves blood flow. It helps the body deal with cardiovascular issues, which is usually an ED issue anyway. Now, ED can be a blood flow issue, it can be a nerve issue, or it can be like an emotional, psychological, emotional issue. Like you just don't have the urge anymore. That could be a lot of things. So there's a lot that can be done with that. I'm telling you, post prostatectomy, I put everybody on a PEMF machine. By the way, if you don't have access to one of those, through a doctor's office or a clinic, you can purchase them. You can purchase home units for as low as $1,000. You can purchase really good high-end ones for like $100,000, right? You don't necessarily need to have all of those. So, and I would start with that, and I would push minerals like crazy. I mean, like I'd be hitting good organic sea salt, a good quarter to a half a teaspoon every day. I'd be doing some Kegel type exercises as well. And I'll tell you another one that's really good. Another really good exercise. I'm going to show you what I do. Look at this. You guys, any of you guys remember, anybody my age or older that remembers Suzanne Summers back in the day? Remember her Thigh Master? So this is a little machine. I keep it at my desk. You literally put your between your thighs and you just, it's an adductor machine. But Ed, when you do that adductor stuff, it helps contract a muscle called the cremasteric muscle. The cremasteric muscle is the muscle that allows for an erection to do what it's supposed to do. So why don't you try those things and we can go from there. So I hope that helps, Ed. Keep me posted. Anything I can do to help you, let me know, and I'm happy to do so. You guys, so many great questions. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I enjoyed it. Please make sure that if you have any questions, you drop them in. Stay tuned and pay attention to all the stuff that we've got going. We got so many great things happening. I mean, so many great things are happening. It's been an interesting run. I've been in real medicine, real functional medicine now for almost, over 2 decades. And it's really been pretty amazing. And there's some amazing things happening. And self-care is the real healthcare. And that's where people are moving to. They're realizing that you're not going to get saved by your doctor. You're not going to get saved by your politician. You got to save yourself. And the only way you can save yourself and your family is to understand what health is and to understand what self-care is and to understand that it's different for every person. The more you understand about yourself, the more you understand of things you can do to help yourself. So guys, I'm going to get going. It's been amazing to be with you guys. Please stay tuned to all the stuff we have and talk about. And remember that knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. But taking that knowledge, what you learn, and applying it to your life and doing it consistently, that's wisdom, and that's the key to the breakthrough. So guys, until we meet again, I'm Dr. Eric Naputi. God bless you. God bless America. And God bless this beautiful, beautiful world. Have an amazing day. Stay smart out there and protect your babies. I'll see y'all soon. Be well. Thank you.